Hey friends, it's me again. I just wanted to share a word about grief that is on my heart right now. The reality is we are all facing grief. We are all temporary. We're just passing through. This earth isn't our home. And our life, all of our lives, and those of our friends and families will come to an end someday. And so we need to talk about grief. And grief also can be about so many things, not just the loss of a loved one through death. It can be divorce, it can be the loss of a job, it can be the loss of friendships. Many different things. Moving away can be a loss that we need to grieve. And right now, this is true more than ever because we have a virus that's going around the world and some people are dying from it. So there will be grief in these days. Let's talk about it. Let's take a look at it. The way I think of it is grief is like this unwanted guest that shows up at your house sometimes unexpectedly one day and does not leave. Moves in with you, hangs out with you, and doesn't leave. Now you can choose to ignore it or you can choose to make place for it. But grief is also a journey. And this has been my experience over the past year and a half since I lost my husband. Grief is a journey, and God, He shows up at the beginning of that journey or in the middle of that journey or every single day of that journey. He's also a guest whom we can make place for in our homes, in our hearts, in our lives. And He says, will you let me take this journey with you? And at all about denying our feelings. It's really about delving in and wrestling them out with God, talking through them with the Lord, and surrendering them and receiving new and fresh things from Him. And it's a constant give and take. And the moment sometimes you think that you have made a breakthrough or you're finally getting somewhere, a fresh new wave of it can hit you. So I wouldn't describe it as a very fun journey, but there's so much treasure along the way that God has for us and that we can find for ourselves. And I think the most impactful one that I've found on my journey is this deep and sweet and precious, intimate place with the Lord that I'm sure I could have obtained other ways, but when you see Him meeting you in such a deep place of hurt and pain and loss and sorrow, and He's ministering to you in that place, you just come to know a part of His heart that's like blows you away. Like, I'll give a quick example. One day I was really frustrated about my loss and the situation that it had left me in. And I was talking to the Lord about it, and I just saw this beautiful picture of Him like holding me, hugging me, embracing me as I let out all of these feelings and frustrations. And Him just accepting all of it and loving me and reminding me that He would love me and He would carry me throughout all of that. That didn't just make all the pain or feelings vanish. So I want to be truthful with you, of course, about that. But it gave me some strength that I needed. And then a few days later, I got a letter in the mail from a friend who just felt led to send me something. And in that letter was a picture of this woman being so beautifully and completely embraced by Jesus. And it was just like this amazing reminder, of course, that He really is carrying me, that He really is with me, and that, I'm not just making that up, but He confirms it. So just seeing God do so many things like that along my journey of grief has been just so beautiful. It's heart-wrenching and it's difficult, but it's so beautiful, and I'm so thankful for the Jesus that I know because of the pain that I've been through. And so if you're grieving right now, I want you to know that He stands before you and He holds out His arms and He says, "Can I take this journey with you?" It's not because He wants something from you. It's because He has so much to give you, and He understands the pain of loss. He understands it. One of my favorite scriptures is where it says that He was a man of sorrows and He was acquainted with grief. And so this is a day in which a lot of us might become acquainted with grief. But I just want you to know that I speak from experience, that the Lord is here for you and He is ready to walk through this grief with you. So say yes. And when this uninvited guest of grief shows up in your life, invite it in, deal with it, make friends with the process even. I know that sounds crazy. And make friends with the Lord. Invite the Lord in as well, because He wants to walk with you and give you beauty for your ashes. And I promise you that He will. I promise you that. I'm going to write, in a few more days, I'm going to put a little bit more up of these thoughts, things really that I have gained from the grief process up on my blog. That's momentswithmarianna.com. So be looking for that. And I love you guys, and I hope that this encourages you, because right now we need an encouraging word. So God bless you, and thanks for listening.